I have had enough of my mill now, I can't take her slyness anymore. I have been dating my partner for just shy of 4 years now, I moved in last year too. My relationship with my mill has been fairly good until I moved in last year, and then her attitude has gotten significantly worse. She makes little comments here and there, constant little digs whether directly or indirectly about knowing her son better than me, where I am from, and gives excuses for my partner's actions. She pointed at me one day whilst standing in front of my partner, saying to him that if I ever give him any bother, she will sort me out. Not jokingly, definitely a real threat. My partner insists that she is okay with me and she does like me. I have told him that I hear the comments and remarks and that makes me think differently of the relationship between us. Anyway, this is what makes me suddenly not interested in family interactions anymore. My partner's cousin's boyfriend messaged my partner asking if he wanted to go fishing with him the next day, Saturday. My partner politely declined as he was decorating our living room and we were waiting for a new oven being delivered and we didn't want to miss that. I asked why he was up this way out of genuine curiosity, as he lives in the big city where I am from, which is a 40-minute drive away. He told me that he was dropping off his cousin to see my mom. That is not unusual, they are a fairly close family, and as the cousin lost her mom at a young age, she sees my partner's mom as a mother-like figure. The following night, Sunday, I had just did my night routine and went onto Facebook before bed to see that his cousin had posted a few pictures explaining that she had a great night on the Saturday listening to 70s/80s music with the best. The pictures had her, partner's sister, the mill and an aunt in them, all dressed up and clearly having a good time, and they were at a local pub about a 15-minute walk from my house. I was genuinely hurt that I had not been invited, as last year we all went out for drinks for a girls' night. The mill was giving me dirty looks, but I still remain respectful and tolerant to the comments and I get on with everyone that attended. They looked like they had planned it all, as Mill likes to make her own costumes and she was wearing a full homemade outfit, as was the sister, who has just had a baby. It hurt as well that my partner told me that she was just going up to see his mom. He is fairly close to his mom and I know that he would have had a rough idea of what was going on and what the plan was. I checked online to see that tickets had gone on sale 2 months ago and that more were made, as it seemed quite a popular thing. I wasn't aware of this because I am not from here and I don't really know anyone that could have passed on information to me. I know this is something that his mill would have been interested and booked, as that is exactly her cup of tea of things to do and go to, and she is very well informed of events like this because of where she works. I was angry at first, but then that slowly turned to sadness as the reality set in that it was now clear that I am started to be excluded from events. This is the same mill that told me that I could message partner's sister if I want to do things, but then it has been made clear that it is my duty to organize and ask out, but that does not transfer to them in return when it comes to me being asked to events like this. I know that I need to speak to my partner about this, but not only about his mom, but the fact that he felt it was necessary to lie to me or downplay what had actually been organized and planned. I have tried so hard to fit in with them, show an interest and even put up with less than favorable comments by said mill, and this is what I get in return. It makes me want to stop doing things with the family, as I know that when I am being invited it is because they need to invite me, not because they want to or want me there for a good time. I am part of the family, and have been for nearly 4 years, and have helped look after their dogs, and I have even offered to look after their dogs when a family member died in a road accident in another country in case they wanted to go out for a family meal, so they did not feel they needed to rush back. I have helped look after partner's niece and even drove the family around at the sister's wedding so they could have a drink. I have just had a middle finger to my face as well as everything else. If my partner had told me the truth to what was going on, I would have been more prepared. It would still have hurt, but at least I wouldn't have found out via social media a day later. Comment. She doesn't like you even a little. That's okay, but your husband needs to put a stop to her hatefulness. Maybe try something like this: honey, I understand that your mom doesn't like me. That's honestly okay. However, until you are willing to demand she treats me with basic respect, I am not going to around her. Then find your own friend group. You have done nothing wrong. But slowly pull away. Say nothing because your boyfriend is blind to what is going on and his mother knows this and will use this. Don't be so available to help out. If she asks you a favor, just say I'm sorry, but I'm helping my friend Jenny this weekend. She helps me a lot and I am so happy that I can return the favor. Or sorry, can't do this tomorrow, I'm helping my friend Sue because she has always been so sweet to me. Or I'm helping my friend Jan as she is like a second mom to me. Can't wait to have kids because she will make an excellent grandma. Regarding her comment about her knowing her son better than you, ask her what sexual position does he like most? You know she won't know that answer. Or what is his most sensitive area on him? She will give an answer and all you need to do is just giggle and say not anymore. Or how does he like to kiss? Ask her questions about her son, that she will not be able to answer. Then tell her that I guess you don't know him as well as you think you do. I suppose how this proceeds depends on your so. Did he know and lie to spare your feelings? Did he know and lie because he didn't want to deal with drama? Did he not know? Mill is an issue, but so will always be more of one. His job is to insulate you from abuse by his family, friends, etc., and your job is to do the same where your family, friends, etc. are concerned. Knowing what he knew, and why he made the choices he did if he knew is key here. That aside, it would be nice if Mill was a decent adult, but that may simply not happen. In that case, the best result you can go for is polite civility, and have a very surface relationship. You are completely entitled to protect your well-being and mental health. Please don't fall into the trap of trying to earn her affection. If you want to watch her dogs, great, if not, feel free to say no. Don't go out of your way. Build your own group of friends and live your life. Family is lovely when they're good but absolutely soul-sucking when they're not. Ensure you have your own transport, or the only transport LOL, and when she starts, get up, say thank you for the meal, or whatever, and leave. Do it every time you choose to visit. If your so is not on board with you doing so, you and he need to have a hard convo. You don't specify his thoughts, but knowingly expecting you to take abuse is abusive. Your Mill has never considered you a member of her family. She doesn't like you at all. So you were not invited by her to many events. However, I hope you can think about whether she is a person worthy of your love. Do you need to fit into her social circle? You sound like a very warm and enthusiastic person. Some people are not worthy of your attention and time. And try not to live with her anymore. Have you ever sat down with her and asked her what changed? Let her know that you felt like your relationship was in a good place until you moved in and you're confused about what went wrong. Can you and your so move out? Based on your post, it doesn't sound like you're married. It's old times, but could the face that you're living together be an issue for Mill? If you're not happy or comfortable with your relationship with Mill, there's really only one thing you can do. Talk to her. This isn't really a situation to put your so in the middle, he's not going to be able to fix the relationship between you and Mill. Next story 2. Is it reasonable to want to leave because of a Mill? Background, my husband and I got married very young. My Mill has been a sore spot before we got married, but I wasn't great at articulating why until the last year. I have a very trustworthy gut when it comes to people, as I have CPTSD, and all I knew from the time I was 15 to 21 was that she made me very uncomfortable. When I was 18, and my now husband was 19, we signed a lease together to move in with some college friends as dorm life was treating us poorly. His parents, mostly mother, essentially guilted us into getting married after they found out. I do recognize it was ultimately our choice at the end of the day, and it was not completely forced, but there were some pretty massive outside factors that pushed us to get married, less than 3 months after they found out. Flash forward to this year, my husband and I have been having some issues, many of which included how I felt as though my feelings were discarded when his mother is involved. For example, she planned a trip to see us and booked the flight before confirming the dates with us. This caused both me and my husband to have to take time off work just to appease her unthoughtful planning. I asked my husband to set the boundary that the dates need to be confirmed with us before booking, and it took months for him to even bring that up to her. My husband and I have been in a pretty rough spot in our relationship for the past year, for additional reasons but also including the issues with his mother. We're in counseling to determine the best course of action. He's been calling his parents frequently because this has been pretty difficult to go through. Last night, I was out, and he called his mom. Later, when I came home, he told me that his mom called me a narcissist. I was raised and abused by a diagnosed narcissist, and have a huge fear of ever becoming remotely like that. She's aware of this, and I believe she knew that her comment would get back to me. Additionally, I'm not sure if this is true, as I have no recollection of this, but on the same call, my Mill told my husband that I once said to her that I sometimes hate him. This is completely out of character for me to say, even as a joke. I was really shocked when my husband told me this. She concluded their conversation by saying something along the lines of "I have more thoughts, but I don't know what I am allowed to share, and at that point, my husband was shutting down anyways, so he didn't feed into it. I'm having a hard time grasping that she may be this manipulative, as she hides behind a pure Christian mother persona, but at the same time, she has always inserted herself into this relationship, and I've always had that weird gut feeling about her. My husband only realized this after that phone call. Among the other issues that my husband and I are having, I'm realizing I do not want to be a part of this family any longer. Is it reasonable to want to leave? Not that my mill is the only issue that we're having, but I don't want to be associated with people like this, and I also do not want to make my husband choose his relationship over his family. Comment. Life is short. And you are still really young. You don't have kids with this man. Leave. Start over. Take care of yourself and prioritize your own happiness, because no one else will do that for you. And never ever settle. I also have a just no mill, but as intolerable as I find her, I'm so in love with her son. And he loves me. He's told her off for disrespecting me, he's limited contact when she's pushed boundaries, and he's made it clear that me and our kids will always come first. That's the difference. You can have the worst in-laws in the world and still be beyond happy with your spouse. I used to be big on sticking it out and making a marriage work. My own parents have been unhappily married for 26 years. And I've been begging them to get divorced without success. Meeting my husband, I realized relationships shouldn't be so hard. You can be so effortlessly happy with the right person. Don't ever let anyone tell you to settle for less than you deserve. I suffered anxiety most of my life, so I definitely understand that, and I'm still learning how to cope because my mill is someone that definitely triggers me. My DH and I only fought about her. It was tough. But she got worse after our daughter was born, and I was firm on boundaries, and he could clearly see the disrespect from her. Like calling me by his ex name 3 times in one visit by accident and arguing with me when I told her no about stuff with our DD. I pointed out how her behavior made me feel, and he could see it. The more she pushed on the boundaries we set, the more annoyed he became with her. It wasn't just me drawing the lines anymore. But it's a work in progress because I'd never choose to spend time with her, and I hate seeing her interact with my kids, like it makes my skin crawl. But I feel like it's only a matter of time before she really kicks off with something, and I have a solid reason to say never again. Until then, I hold my boundaries, focus on my nuclear family, and find small ways to tolerate her in the meantime, or goes on break with visits when she's oversteps. He is showing how he is not ready to be a husband. He still wants to be a son first. Believe him and let him go. See a lawyer, have the papers drawn up, and peace out of there. It's not too hasty. You know when it's time to leave. But, be careful, because she is going to lose it when she finds out you are leaving. Don't tell anyone what you are doing. Go to a lawyer first, then start separating your finances at least as much as you can without him knowing. She will absolutely try to make sure you leave with nothing, so protect yourself. You deserve better. You deserve to be with someone who puts you first every time. Who lights up when you walk in the room. Who will never let his family of origin interfere in your life because he is too busy building a life with you to have much time for them. No, wanting to separate from your husband in part because of the mill is not unreasonable, and it's compounded by some marital issues that the in-laws are contributing to. Continue to go to counseling if you believe there's any hope of saving your marriage. Divorce is difficult. Before leaving, I'd give going and see with the outlaws a chance. My mill also shared lies about me to others. My DH denies that she's ever said a bad word about me, but I know better. I decided that I don't need a manipulative, lying, passive-aggressive mill in my life. I haven't seen her in 3 years, and I haven't talked to her for 1. My husband sees her as he chooses. Yours needs to stop telling you what Mill says about you. Has he given any thought to what exactly that accomplishes? Nothing positive for sure. This arrangement has worked for us, and our marriage is now solid. Be on your way if it doesn't work for you. She's interfering with your marriage because your husband keeps talking to her about your marriage problems. It's also awful that he tells you all the horrible things she says about you. He's parroting what she says, and clearly she wants to stir things up. He's putting her before you. As long as he refuses to set boundaries and put your needs first, I think it's reasonable to end the marriage.